getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. Got to talk about the Sweet 16. The Sweet 16 is later on tonight. You know, today is technically Thursday. Now, if you're on the West Coast, it's still Wednesday. But we are here, man. Sweet 16 Elite 8 is this weekend. I can't wait. I'm excited. But before I do that, got to go over my current record in both the NIT and the NCAA tournament. So, in the NIT, I am currently 21-7, had a 2-2 record in the quarterfinals. I got both games right on Tuesday night. Both games wrong tonight. Loyola Chicago just straight up dominated Kent State. But, man, UAB kind of blew the game tonight. Hit a big three to go 3, left Devin Tillis wide open in the top of the key for 3. And it was, like, instant, too. Like, nobody decided to guard him. Miles Shea had a couple big threes, a couple big buckets late in the regulation, the centers of overtime. But, yeah, I think UAB, they kind of blew it. But that's that. Tournament, I'm currently 44-8. That is including the round of 68. So we're out the round of 68. I'm 42-6. I had a perfect first day round of 64, 2 wrong the second day round of 64. There's 2 6-2 days in the round of 32. And finally, I have to say shout out to Illinois State Redbirds. They did beat Cleveland State today in the CBI tournament to win the CBI tournament. So shout out to them. They had a huge day from 3. Both teams started off slow from 3. Then Illinois State got hot, and Cleveland State just couldn't keep up. So shout out to them for winning the CBI tournament. Now, got to shout out some shows on the network. We got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern to 8:30-ish. We have Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ every 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central on Tuesday. BWT, Baseball with Teddy, opening day is here. Shout out my Tigers. We play the Dodgers, but the opening day is here. FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Fantasy football season is still a miles away, but he got offseason going. He's talking offseason talks into the draft. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. Make sure you check that out. We have In the Red Corner featuring Joe, Tomo, Ricky, boxing episode every other Sunday, 7 o'clock, so make sure you check that out. And we have Real Ballers Only featuring Vaughn. NBA season, regular season almost over. Playoffs around the corner. My Pistons, we're currently in the 5th seed. Man, what a year we're having. I cannot believe that we're like daggone their playoff locks with 9 games left. But we got tough of that 9 games, so we ain't locked in yet. We played the Cavs, I believe, on Friday. We played OKC, I think, Sunday or next Monday. Still got the T-Wolves, got the Bucks twice. So, did I? I thought I said Ty. My bad. Ty, Ricky, and Tomo in the red corner. But, yeah, so make sure y'all check out Real Ballers Only. Now, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Got some comments, then I'll go into the Sweet 16. Joe says, I don't know what that's referring to. Oh, okay, I see. I'm just glad I took the lead on R2L locking in with UAB loss. I'm so mad UAB lost. I picked them to win. I'm so mad. But hold on. I know you want to take UC Irvine straight up because that's not fair. That's cheating. UC Irvine straight up was like minus 200 something. Y'all got to have a stipulation. I'm going to have to talk to y'all in the background. We can't just be taking minus 200s and minus 300s all willy-nilly. But, and they got Ty, Tomo, and Ricky. Yeah, I thought I said Ty. You said I said Joe. Thought I said tie. Yeah, see, Dave, if he took UAB, okay, that's plus. That was like plus 100 something. So that's cool. That's cool. That's very cool. So I'll take that. Dave, I'm sorry UAB couldn't get it done, bro. You actually had a heck of a game. Didn't get some calls down the stretch that I thought Yaxel Lundeberg should have got. But I still think they should have won that game. But all right, come on, about to say, y'all can't be taking no minuses and stuff like that. Got it. All right, cool. We were tied, but his loss took the lead. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did miss the end of R2L because my uncle called me, and I forgot to go back and listen. I'm going to go back and listen because I forgot. But let's get into these Sweet 16s. First game, I think should be a good one. BYU versus Alabama. Alabama coming to this one as 5.5-point favorites. 7:09 on CBS Thursday. Man, I think this is going to be a really good game. BYU's been playing spectacular again. They're only one loss of recent. It's to 1 seed Houston in the Big 12 championship. Not Big 12 championship, excuse me, Big 12 semifinals. I meant to say Big 12 tournament. Other than that, BYU's been playing great basketball. The Alabama team that chucks threes, hit them at a high rate, really good offensively. Could leave a lot to be desired defensively, but they score at such a high rate. It's so hard to keep up. So this should be a good game. BYU is led by Richie Saunders, averaging 16.3 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 1.1 steals. Igor Denman, the freshman, averaging 10.5 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, and 1.1 steals. And Fusini Traore, 8.7 points per game, 5.4 rebounds. The X factor to me in this one is Kiba Keita and his rebounding, and he got to deal with guys like Grant Nelson and Clifford Amarui. He's averaging 7.9 rebounds per game. He's been key in helping BYU. His activity, too, because he runs the floor really well. He can be a lob threat. I think he's going to be real big in this game. So I got Kiba Keita as my X factor. Now for Alabama, they're led by All-American Mark Sears, averaging 18.6 points per game, 5 assists per game. Grant Nelson, 11.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. Aiden Holloway averaging 11.3 points per game. Now that X factor to me is Chris Youngblood, because his scoring is going to be vital for Alabama against BYU. BYU is a team that does a really good job moving the ball, sharing it, and getting open shots. Chris Youngblood is going to have to contribute to Alabama scoring, hitting three-pointers. He's averaging 10 points per game while shooting 39% from three. So ultimately, I think he's going to be the X factor there. But I'm rolling with Alabama. I'm going Roll Tide. Why? I think both games kind of similar. Alabama just does it better. Again, Sears, All-American, he's tough to stop. I don't know who on that BYU team is going to draw that assignment. Maybe Moet Mag, but if you put Moet Mag on Mark Sears, LeBaron Fallon, Aiden Holloway, they can all score as well. So it's tough to get that matchup. And they just got guys that can score and score in bunches. And I think that's ultimately how you can beat BYU, is with guards and guys that can score in bunches. And then you got Grant Nelson who can stretch the floor. He can kill you inside the paint. He can get you from the three-point line. He does a lot. He's going to put a lot of pressure on these BYU bigs. I'm taking Bama to win against BYU. Excuse me. Next, we have Maryland versus Florida. Florida is coming to this one 6.5-point favorites. It's going to be 7:39 on TBS or True TV, whichever one you desire to watch. And it's also on Thursday. Now, Maryland is coming off the buzzer beater that sent Colorado State home, which what a buzzer beater it was. But I thought they had it. Jalen Lake hit that three. I was like, oh, shoot. Colorado State, they smoking. They going to be tough for somebody. Well, they didn't play Florida, but they've been a tough out. But Derek Queen gets that tough buzzer beater to send Maryland to the Sweet 16, which ultimately I had in my bracket anyway, so I wasn't too mad. Maryland led by, like I said, Derek Queen, averaging 16.2 points per game, 9.1 boards, 1.1 steals, and 1.1 blocks. Rodney Rice averaging 13.9 points per game, and Jacoby Gillespie averaging 14.6, 5 assists, and 1.9 steals per game. The X factor to me is Selton Miguel. Nobody on the bench. See, I was trying to see with Maryland, you can't really go to a bench player. Maryland gets most, if not all, its production from its starters. So I went Selton Miguel because Florida guards play really good defense. From Will Richard to Elijah Martin, Walter Clayton at times, they play really good defense. And Selton Miguel is a guy who can knock down shots in the face of really good defense. He knocks out tough and late shot clock shots. So I'm going with Selton Miguel. He's got to be able to score in the face of pressure. He's averaging 12 points per game. Florida, led by Walter Clayton Jr., who's averaging 17.9 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1.3 steals. Elijah Martin averaging 14.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.6 steals. And Will Richard averaging 13.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game. To me, their X factor is Alex Condon. Why? Because he got to deal with Juju Reese. One, I think offensively he has to put the pressure on Juju Reese to get him in foul trouble. Two, he's going to have to rebound down low with Juju Reese, which he's actually been playing better basketball this year. I have to give him credit. Juju's been playing really good this year. And I just think if he can put the pressure on them, draw them outside maybe to allow these guards to attack the paint, that'd be huge for Florida. Ultimately, I am going Florida because, one, they get production from their bench. Maryland really doesn't. I mean, Florida, to me, Florida's like one of the best overall teams in the country. They do really well offensively and defensively, which makes them a tough out for any team. They can score with the best of them and defend with the best of them. So Maryland, they are good defensively, but I think they do have lapses. And again, the lack of depth for Maryland can definitely can wear on them as the game goes against this Florida team. So give me Florida to win this game. Shout out my boy Teddy in the comments. Teddy right on time because the next game is Arizona versus Duke. Duke is coming into this game as 9.5-point favorites. Game is 9:39 or 30 minutes after BYU Alabama on CBS Thursday. Arizona led by Caleb Love, who had a huge game against the Oregon Ducks on Sunday night. I mean, very huge game. Averaging 16.8 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.2 steals. Jaden Bradley averaging 12 points per game, 3.7 assists, and 1.8 steals. And Henry Vezar averaging 9.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. No, I don't think that's supposed to be. I don't even know why I wrote that. And 1.1 blocks. But the X factor to me is KJ Lewis. KJ Lewis is a guy that decided, hey, it might be best for me to come off the bench with this team. And he's a really excellent defender who can score. And I think both his defense and his scoring is going to be huge against this one, especially because Duke is a really good defensive team. But, again, they can put up points. So Arizona's going to get some guys that's going to be able to lock in defensively, but also score late shot clock. I think KJ Lewis is the guy that have to help them out. Carter Bryant was a close second in my X factor. For Duke, they're led by, obviously, the phenomenal freshman Cooper Flagg, averaging 18.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.3 blocks. Colin Knippel averaging 14.1 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Tyrese Proctor averaging 12.5 points per game. Their X factor to me is Sion James, and his scoring averaging 8.4 points per game, and his rebounding averaging 4.1. Sion James is a really solid player for the Duke Blue Devils, and he's solid in stature as well. He probably can bully. Well, I don't know if he's going to be on a guard because, Kneppel, Tyrese, he may more so be on like Carter Bryant and Trey Townsend, which he may be able to bully Carter Bradley whenever he's in the game. But I think he's going to be huge. And he's also a presence rebounding, so I think he's huge in this one. But I'm ultimately rolling Duke. They played earlier in the year. Duke won by double digits. Caleb Love had a really bad game. Caleb Love has had some bad performances in the tournament, especially against teams that are better than his, which I think Duke is better than Zona. So I'm going to roll with Duke, and I don't think Caleb Love has a particularly good game against Duke. So that's why I'm ultimately rolling with the Blue Devils. All right. Just got this comment, and then we'll see. Teddy says, Duke. I'm not saying it the way y'all said. Shout out to y'all, though. Y'all are cooking in this tournament. Next, we have Arkansas, versus Texas Tech. Arkansas coming into this game as 5.5-point underdogs. Texas Tech, I've been saying it all year, a team that I love this year. This game is Thursday on CBS/True TV, whatever you desire, 30 minutes after Arizona Duke or 10:09. Now, Arkansas, they are led by, I always say, and I always have trouble, I got to read it, Zomir Ivizik, center, transfer with Cal. He's averaging 9.8 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks. John L. Davis averaging 11.4 points per game and 1.5 steals. And DJ Wagner averaging 11.1 points per game, 3.6 assists, and 1 steal. Their X factor to me is Boogie Flan. He's been recently back. I mean, he got hurt, I'll say midway through the year. He came back the last 2 games. He had a pretty good game. He's going to need a spectacular game to me against this Texas Tech team, especially if Chance McMillan is back for Texas Tech, which I haven't really seen much on. But if Chance McMillan is back, this team, Texas Tech, can guard really well. Their guards play good defense, and Elijah Hawkins and Christian Anderson. But they also, Christian Anderson really can score. He's fearless. Elijah Hawkins is a really good facilitator who sets up players in really good positions to succeed. And they also got the Big 12 player again, JT Toppin. So Boogie Flan's scoring ability is going to be huge in this one for Arkansas, as he is averaging, I wrote it right here, 14.2 points per game. Now for Texas Tech, they're led by Elijah Hawkins. Point guard averaging 9.4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and 1.6 steals. JT Toppin, 18.1 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks. And Darion Williams averaging 14.7 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.2 steals. Their X factor to me is Christian Anderson, because while Arkansas needs to score, Texas Tech as well needs to score. And Christian Anderson is the guy that can do that. Freshman averaging 10.5 points per game. Also, wrote down here, he has big shot ability. He's like, I don't want to say he's all the way like Selton Miguel, because Miguel, he'll hit big shots, but he'll hit like unorthodox, crazy shots as well. Christian Anderson just hits big shots at big moments. He doesn't feel pressure. And I think he's key for Texas Tech in this one. And I'm ultimately rolling with Texas Tech. I had them in my bracket to get past St. John. St. John didn't make it. I had them, so I'm going to keep it with them to beat Arkansas. Arkansas is having a really good tournament run. They've actually been like hot of late. Yes, I know they lost in the SEC tournament, but their last couple games down the stretch, they've been playing really well. Adu Thiero may be back. I saw that today. He's basically a game time decision for Arkansas. But Texas Tech, I just love these guards. And there's guys I didn't even mention, like Kevin Overton, that if he can get hot, he plays defense. It could get really good for them. Federico, who's big off the bench, who can move, block shots. He's kind of a rim presence. So I'm going to roll with Texas Tech in this one. I think Texas Tech gets it done against Arkansas. And we move on to Friday. Friday starts with Ole Miss versus Michigan State, 7:09 on CBS Friday. Michigan State comes into this one as 3.5-point favorites, coming off the win against New Mexico, which, man, again, I know I talked about New Mexico all year, so it hurt when we had to put them out of the tournament, but you got to do what you got to do to survive. Ole Miss, led by Sean Padula, big shot taker, big shot maker, averaging 15.2 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.9 steals. Jamin Brakefield averaging 11.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, and Malik Dia averaging 10.7 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game. Their X factor to me, I put is Jalen Murray, because he's going to have to score for the Ole Miss Rebels. He's averaging 10.5 points per game. But Michigan State's defense is really good. We're one of the best three-point defenses in the country. So these guards, they got to be able to score. And I put Jalen Murray as a X factor for them. While MSU is led by Jace Richardson, the phenomenal freshman, averaging 11.9 points per game. Jaden Akins, 12.7 points per game, 3.5 rebounds. And Jackson Kolar, 7.8 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game. Our X factor to me this game is going to be Carson Cooper and his defensive ability to protect the paint area, his rebounding, and he's going to have to be able to find ways to get second chance opportunities, whether it's rebounds and putting it back, rebounds and kicking it out. His activity, when he's normally playing well, Michigan State's playing well. So I think Carson Cooper and his height is huge in this one. I'm ultimately rolling with Michigan State. Again, defensively, we are really talented. We can get out on a break and run. Our defense literally normally leads to our offense, but again, we are so patient with our offense, so composed, late shot clock, and I think that bodes well for us. And we're really good at defending the three. So if we can just control Sean Padula, not give him too many good looks, do him like we did Donovan Dent, I think we'll be fine, and I think we will beat Ole Miss. So I'm picking the Spartans to beat Ole Miss. Next, we have Kentucky versus Tennessee, which I believe Kentucky is 2-0 versus Tennessee, I believe, this year. Tennessee comes to this one as 4.5-point favorites. The game is 7:39 CBS on True TV, whatever you desire, on Friday. Kentucky is led by Otega Owe, 16.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.6 steals. Amari Williams averaging 10.8 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. And Lamont Butler averaging 11.1 points per game, 4.3 assists, and 1.6 steals. Their X factor to me is going to be big fella Andrew Carr, transfer from Wake Forest. If he can give you some points as a big, contributing with the guys like Amari Williams, maybe a Brandon Garrison, Kobe Bray. If he can contribute with them, that bodes well because he can stretch the floor. He can shoot the three ball. He has a little post game. So I think he's going to be big against these Tennessee bigs. Speaking of Tennessee, they're led by Zakai Ziegler, who's averaging 13.7 points per game, 7.4 assists, and 2 steals. Chancellor in there, who's averaging 18.1 points per game and 3.8 rebounds. And Igor Milicic Jr. averaging 9.7 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game. And their X factor to me is Jordan Gainey. Lamont Butler, I'm assuming, is either going to be on Chancellor near or Zakai Ziegler. So Jordan Gainey has to win his matchup. Now, Tego Owe is no slouch defensively either, so don't get me wrong there. But Jordan Gainey and his scoring ability, averaging 11.3 points per game, is going to be huge. Y'all know me. If you know me anyway, you know I've been talking about Jordan Gainey for a couple years now. I love Jordan Gainey's scoring ability. I think he's also clutch. He hits big shots. So he's gonna have to hit big shots against Kentucky. But ultimately, I did choose Tennessee. Why? One, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, especially a team as good as Tennessee. 2, a lot of these Zakai Ziegler, Chaz Lanier, their seniors, they're trying to get to a Final Four. And I know they were close last year. They ran into Purdue and lost. But this year, I think they got the team to do so. At least they can get past Kentucky. And I just think when they're back against the wall, when Tennessee's back against the wall, that's when they perform their best. Going against Kentucky, like I said, who you lost to twice this year, I think they come out swinging. And I think they come out and get the best of Kentucky. So give me Tennessee to win this one. Next, we have Michigan versus Auburn. Auburn's coming to this one as 9.5-point favorites. The game is 9:39 on CBS or 30 minutes after MSU Ole Miss. Michigan led by Vlad Golden, 16.8 points per game, 7 rebounds and 1.4 blocks. Trey Donaldson, 11.5 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1 steal per game. And Danny Wolf, 13 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.4 blocks. Their X factor to me is honestly probably going to be Reuben Jones. And his defense off the bench and his 3-point shooting ability, he's going to have to probably deal with guys like Tahad Pettiford, who is a bucket, phenomenal freshman coming off the bench for Auburn, maybe Miles Kelly. They could put Reuben Jones in different spaces, but his defense ability is going to be huge for Michigan, while Auburn, led by Janai Broome, 18.4 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks. Chad Baker-Mazar, 12.5 points per game, 1.1 steals, and Tahad Pettiford averaging 11.5 points per game. X factor for Auburn to me, I wrote Dylan Caldwell, and he has to deal with Vlad Golden in that paint. He's one of the best defenders in the country, and he's going against Vlad Golden, who's a guy who can score that Michigan leans on to late shot clock if anything's going wrong to go get them a bucket. And ultimately, I did roll with Auburn to win this game. Why? Because they have the height to compare against Michigan. Michigan does not have the height advantage against Auburn. Michigan is the better offensive team than Auburn. And I think reverse that. Auburn is the better offensive team than Michigan. Auburn is the better defensive team than Michigan. That's what I meant to say. Auburn, Dylan Caldwell, I think he's going to do a great job on Vlad Golden. Now, Vlad Golden is going to get his points. He's talented. He's going to get his buckets. But I think Dylan Caldwell is going to do a good job as long as he stays out of foul trouble on Vlad Golden. And Janai Broome, I think he's going to absolutely stifle Danny Wolf. He can go foot speed with Danny Wolf. And he can also put pressure on Danny Wolf defensively. Danny Wolf's going to have to guard him too. And that's going to wear him down. These guards, I know Trey Donaldson going against his old team. He was the Auburn Tiger last year. That's going to be huge. But ultimately, I just think Auburn's the better team here. And they can't just Michigan just can't lean on Vlad Golden. Like, here, bail us out. Auburn's defensively is too good. They're going to have to find ways to consistently get good looks, good shot attempts. In the last game of the Sweet 16, Purdue versus Houston, 10:09 or 30 minutes after Kentucky, Tennessee, on True TBS or True TV, whatever you desire, Friday. So Purdue led by Braden Smith. Braden Smith is averaging 16 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and 2.2 steals. Trey Kaufman-Renn averaging 20.3 points per game and 6.5 rebounds. And Fletcher Lawyer averaging 13.7 points per game. Now, their X factor to me is Miles Colvin, his defense off the bench, his ability to knock down threes. I think that's going to be huge for them. While Houston's led by L.J. Cryer, averaging 15.6 points per game. Juwan Roberts, 10.9 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Emmanuel Sharp, the knockdown shooter, averaging 12.5 points per game and 1.4 steals. X factor to me is Milos Uzan and his ability to score the ball. He's averaging 11.5 points per game. My winner is Houston. Why? Because I think Juwan Roberts and Javier Francis is going to do a really good job with Trey Kaufman-Renn. Braden Smith, I think he's going to have some trouble penetrating and creating shots for others. And again, Braden Smith has had troubles at times with good defenses turning the ball over. I think Houston has the ability to turn Braden Smith over. Now, Braden Smith, he's a good player. He's going to be able to bounce back. He's probably going to be able to set some things up. But I think Houston's going to give Braden Smith a lot of trouble. And when he's in trouble, Purdue's in trouble. So give me Houston to beat Purdue. Now, that is all the games for the Sweet 16. I don't know when I'm going to be back. If it's going to be Friday night after the end of this game right here or Saturday morning. It's probably going to be Saturday morning, to be honest with you. After the games, I'm probably going to want to go to sleep because I still got to write and everything. But probably Saturday morning before the game. This Sweet 16. I have all favorites. I mean, my bracket has Alabama advancing. It had Florida advancing. It has Duke. It had Duke over Oregon. My bracket had Texas Tech over St. John. My bracket had Michigan State over Iowa State. It had Tennessee over Kentucky. It had Auburn over Michigan, and it had Houston over Purdue. So I have all favorites. Now we could just do a little game. If I were to pick an upset, it would probably be BYU over Bama. So that is, I guess, an upset alert. BYU over Bama would be the one game. If I had to, like, you can't pick all favorites, Carl. You have to pick an upset. BYU over Bama would be that. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. It's 12:50 on a work night. So enjoy the rest of y'all night. I will be back, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.